Dear students, today we are going to discuss the UN Trusteeship Council. It is the Article 7 of the UN Charter, which includes the Trusteeship Council among the 6 organs of the United Nations. Like the entire UN system was also established in the aftermath of World War II as a mechanism for the international supervision and administration of trust territories. So, Trusteeship Council was established to administer trust territories. Now, the question is that what are trust territories? These trust territories were actually former colonies, territories that had been placed under that has been placed under the temporary administration of member states to promote their political, economic, social, and educational advancements towards self-government and independence. So it means the trustship system was designed to ensure that trust territories which were not yet to fully self-governing would be governed in the best interest of their inhabitants and with the ultimate goal of preparing them for self-determination. In other words, historically, the Trusteeship Council is successor of the Mandate Commission of League of Nations. This Trusteeship Council was established as one of the principal organs of the United Nations under the UN Charter with the prime responsibility to administer and supervise trusted territories and to promote their advancement towards self-government and independence. Now, we are going to discuss the composition of the Trusteeship Council. As I told you that historically the Trusteeship Council is successor of the Mandate Commission of League of Nations. But this Trusteeship Council was constituted quite differently from the old Mandate Commission under the League of Nations. It composed of member states, whereas the members of the Mandate Commission were experts appointed by the League of Nations Council and were not the representatives of their governments. If we look at the composition of this Trusteeship Council, it's very complex. According to Article 86 of the UN Charter, there are 3 types of members in this Trusteeship Council. First is those members of the UN which were administering trust territories. Second, those permanent members which are not administering territories. Third category of members are those members who are elected for the 3 year term by the General Assembly. So, dear students, the very composition of this council was made quite complicated, and it was because of some reasons, some factors. These reasons, these factors are like it was considered essential to give representation to all states administering trust territories. It was also felt that an equal number of members should be taken from non-administering states to maintain a proper balance between the two. It was also felt that a provision should be made for all the great powers because they had taken keen interest in the colonial problem. Second important component of this composition is the presiding officer. Under the Charter, the Council elects a president by secret and separate ballot from among the representatives of the members of the council. However, the council has, by its own rules, also provided for a vice president who is elected in the like manner by the representatives of the members of the council. Now, we are going to look at the decision making and voting process of the trusteeship council. According to Article 89, the decisions of the trusteeship council shall be made by a majority of the members present and voting. Important decisions such as those concerning the supervision or termination of trusteeship agreements require the affirmative vote of all permanent members of the council. And decisions related to the admission of new trusteeship agreements or amendments to existing agreements also require the approval of all permanent members. This trusteeship council also holds a regular and special sessions to carry out its functions. These sessions are convened at the discretion of the council's president or upon the request of a majority of its members. Meetings are open to all UN member states and may include participation from representatives of trust territories, administering authorities, and relevant UN agencies. The Council follows established rules of procedure which govern the conduct of meetings, the presentation of reports, and the adoption of resolutions. Now, we are going to discuss the functions and responsibilities of Trusteeship Council. The Trusteeship Council of the United Nations was established with several key functions and responsibilities which were outlined in the UN Charter. While its role has evolved over time, especially with the successful transition of most trust territories to self-governments to independence, the core functions and responsibilities are like supervision of trust territories. So it means the primary function of the Trusteeship Council was to oversee the administration of trust territories placed under the trusteeship system established by the UN Charter. It monitored the political, economic, social, and educational conditions of trust territories to ensure they are being properly governed and prepared for self-government or independence. This trusteeship council also provided guidance and assistance to administer authorities of trust territories to help them fulfill their obligations under the trusteeship agreements. This assistance included technical support, capacity building, and advice on governance, development, and institution building to facilitate the transition to self-government. This trusteeship council also reviews and approves trusteeship agreements negotiated between administering authorities and the UN to establish the terms and conditions of trusteeship. It ensured that these agreements adhere to the principles of the UN Charter, including the promotion of self-determination, human rights, and socio-economic development. The main function and responsibility of the Trusteeship Council was to advance the process of decolonization by overseeing the transition of trust territories to self-government or independence. This Trusteeship Council promoted the principles of self-determination and sovereignty, therefore allowing people of trust territories to freely choose their political status and their political future. In addition to political oversight, this Trustship Council also supported humanitarian assistance and development initiatives in trust territories. It worked to improve living standards, promote education and health care, and promote economic development to enhance the well being of the people and prepare them for self sufficiency. By promoting stability, good governance, and socio-economic development in trust territories, the Trusteeship Council also contributed indirectly to conflict prevention and peace building efforts. It aimed to address underlying grievances, build inclusive institutions, and promote reconciliation to prevent conflicts and promote sustainable peace. This Trustship Council also acted as a forum for international cooperation and dialogue among member states, administering authorities, and representatives of trust territories. It also facilitated collaboration to address common challenges, share best practices, and promote solidarity in supporting the development and self determination of trust territories. Dear students, while many of the trust territories have already achieved self government or independence, the Trustship Council continues to exist within the UN system, but with reduced functions. Its legacy lies in its contributions to the decolonization process and its promotion of principles such as self determination, human rights, and international cooperation. So, dear students, these are some important functions of the Trustship Council. Now, let's have a look at the contribution made by the Trustship Council. Dear students, the Trustship Council of the United Nations made significant contribution to the process of decolonization and the advancement of self-governance and independence in trust territories. Now, I am giving you some examples that highlight its contributions. First is that this Trustship Council facilitated self-determination. For example, Trust Territory of the Pacific Island. This Trust Territory of the Pacific Island comprised several islands in the Pacific Ocean, administered by the United States after the World War II. Under the Trusteeship Council's supervision, this trust territory underwent a gradual transition towards self government. Through educational initiatives, infrastructure development, and capacity building programs, the Trusteeship Council helped to prepare the people of this trust territory for eventual self determination. Another example is that in 1979, the Republic of Palau emerged as an independent state, marking as a successful outcome of the Trustship Council's efforts in facilitating self determination. So these two examples show the efforts of Trustship Council towards self-determination of trust territories. Trustship, this Trustship Council also made its contribution by promoting socio-economic development of trust territories. For example, Trust Territory of Rwanda, Urundi. The Trust Territory of Rwanda, Urundi, administered by Belgium, faced challenges related to socio-economic disparities, and ethnic tensions. The Trusteeship Council supported initiatives aimed at promoting economic development, education, and healthcare to address these challenges. In 1962, Rwanda and Burundi gained independence following a period of transition overseen by the Trusteeship Council, demonstrating its role in promoting socio-economic development as a precursor to independence. This Trusteeship Council also provides humanitarian assistance and education. For example, Trust Territory of Somalia. The Trust Territory of Somaliland, administered by Italy until 1960, faced significant challenges in education, healthcare, and infrastructure development. The Trusteeship Council implemented humanitarian assistance programs, including educational initiatives and healthcare services, to improve living standards and promote human development. In 1960, Somaliland gained independence and later unified with Italian Somaliland to form the Somali Republic. With the support of the Trusteeship Council's efforts in promoting education and development. This Trusteeship Council also made its contribution to peace building and conflict resolution. For example, Trust Territory of West Samoa. This Trust Territory of West Samoa was administered by the New Zealand. It underwent a peaceful transition to independence with the assistance of the Trusteeship Council. This Trusteeship Council facilitated dialogue and reconciliation efforts between different factions within the territory, contributing to stability and peaceful coexistence. In 962, in 1962, West Samoa became the independent state of Samoa, demonstrating the Trusteeship Council's role in promoting peace building and conflict resolution. So, dear students, these examples highlight that how the Trusteeship Council played an important role in facilitating the transition of trust territories to self-government or independence by promoting self-determination, socio-economic development, humanitarian assistance, and peace-building initiatives. Through its efforts, the Council contributed to advance the principles of decolonization, human rights, and international cooperation, leaving a lasting legacy in the history of the United Nations. Dear students, now we are going to discuss the challenges which Trusteeship Council is facing. While the Trusteeship Council of the United Nations played a significant role, made an important contribution in overseeing the decolonization process and promoting self-governance in trust territories, but it also faces several challenges and criticisms. Some of these challenges, some of these criticisms are like relevance in the modern context. One of the primary criticisms of the Trusteeship Council is its diminishing relevance in the contemporary period. Since all trust territories have already achieved independence, therefore now critics argue that the Council's mandate has become outdated. Its functions became redundant. Thus, questions are raised about its continued existence within the UN system. Another criticism is about structural limitations. The structure of the Trusteeship Council, which includes five permanent members and a limited number of non permanent members, has been criticized for its lack of representativeness. Therefore, some critics argue that the dominance of the permanent members, particularly the former administering powers, may make decision making and undermine the interests of trust territories and small member states. Another criticism is about its effectiveness in addressing contemporary issues. As you know, the focus of the UN has shifted towards addressing new global challenges such as climate change, terrorism, and humanitarian crisis. The trusteeship's capacity to effectively respond to these issues has been questioned. Critics argue that the Council's mandate is too narrow and does not encompass the broader spectrum of challenges which international community is facing presently. The Trusteeship Council's authority is also questioned because the Trusteeship Council's authority is limited to oversee trust territories, which are territories that were under colonial rule or occupation during the post World War II period. Critics argue that this narrow focus restricts the Council's ability to address other important issues related to governance, development, and human rights in non trust territories. This Trusteeship Council also faces some political impediments. Political tensions and disagreements among member states, particularly the permanent members of the Council, have sometimes hindered its ability to make timely and effective decisions. Veto powers held by the permanent members can result in deadlock and impair the Council's ability to take action on certain issues related to trust territories. This Trustship Council also faces resource constraints, including budgetary limitations and staffing, which have affected its operational capacity. Limited resources may also hinder the Council's ability to effectively carry out its functions and provide necessary support to trust territories which are under its supervision. So, dear students, though the Trusteeship Council played an important role in the decolonization process and in the promotion of the self governance, but it has also faced criticism for its relevance, for its representativeness, effectiveness, scope of authority, political dynamics, and resource constraints. Addressing these challenges will be essential for ensuring the Council's continued relevance and effectiveness within the UN system. Now, dear students, let us see how Trusteeship Council can be made relevant in modern times. As you know, that in modern times the relevance of Trusteeship Council within the United Nations has diminished significantly due to the successful completion of its primary mandate of overseeing the decolonization process. However, despite its reduced operational role, the Trusteeship Council still retains some relevance in contemporary international affairs for several reasons. The first reason is historical legacy and institutional continuity. Dear students, the Trusteeship Council acted, it can serve as a reminder of the UN's historical role in promoting decolonization and self determination. Its continued existence underscores the importance of these principles in shaping the modern world order. As one of the original principal organs of the UN established under the Charter, the Trusteeship Council contributes to the institutional continuity and historical memory of the United Nations. This Trusteeship Council also symbolizes the commitment of the international community to promote good governance, human rights, and development in former trust territories. Its occasional meetings and ceremonial functions serve as a reminder of the United Nations founding principles and ongoing efforts to address historical injustice and promote global cooperation. So, while its operational functions have diminished, the Trusteeship Council retains the capacity to provide advisory and consultative support on issues related to decolonization, governance, and development. It can also offer insights and recommendations based on its historical experience in overseeing trusted territories, particularly in regions where similar challenges persist. This Trusteeship Council can still act as a forum for reflection, as a forum for dialogue. In other words, the Trusteeship Council provides a platform for member states to reflect on the achievements and challenges of the decolonization process and to engage in dialogue on related issues. It offers opportunities for member states, civil society organizations, and other stakeholders to exchange views, share best practices, and promote mutual understanding. Despite its limited operational mandate, the Trusteeship Council can contribute to discussions on institutional reform and innovation within the UN system. It can explore new approaches to address emerging challenges in governance, development, and peace building. This Trusteeship Council can also, in certain cases, support for transitional and post conflict settings. Their students in certain transitional and post conflict settings where issues of governance, institution building, and self determination remain relevant, the Trusteeship Council may offer valuable insights and support. Its historical experience in overseeing trusted territories can inform efforts to promote peace, stability, and sustainable development in such context. So, dear students, it is now clear from our discussion that though the relevance of the Trusteeship Council may have diminished in comparison to its earlier years, but its symbolic importance, potential advisory role, and capacity for promoting dialogue and reflection ensure that it continues to have a place within the broader framework of the UN and international governance. So, dear students, in today's lecture, we have seen the composition, purpose, and functions of the Trusteeship Council. We have its decision making process. Dear students, we have also seen its contribution towards decolonization and independence of trust territories, as well as the issues and criticisms against it. And finally, we have also seen its relevance in contemporary period. Thank you.